A request I get quite often when I create video courses is that I include the lab setup. So I wanted to make sure that I include the lab setup here. That includes all the different clients, servers, and storage that I'll be using in this course. To start with, I'll be using a Windows domain controller called DC1, and you can see here the IP address as well as the storage and the Windows 2022 Standard Edition that I'll be running it. The second is going to be the Veeam server. So this is going to be installed on a Windows server, and it's going to be installed on the C drive, but I also have 500 gigabytes on the D drive as well that I'll be using for internal storage for one of the demonstration videos. And it is running Windows 2022 Standard. Then I have a file server also running on Windows Server called Server 01, and it's running the Standard Edition. Then I have a Windows 11 client called Client 1, and it includes this storage on a Windows 11 Enterprise computer. And I have a Linux server. I'll be backing up Linux from Veeam. Veeam installs on the Windows server, but I can back up Linux from there. And I'll include the standard storage and RAM. And finally, I'll be using a NAS server. Now, in this particular case, it's running a Windows server with an SMB share, just like any other NAS server would do. However, you may be using a NAS server that's running with Linux that will support SMB type file shares, or maybe some other operating system. The important thing is that the NAS server doesn't really matter when it comes to the operating system. It's just doing a file share with storage on it. I'll also be connecting to the Microsoft Azure Cloud, where I'll be setting up storage there, and that will be set up as a storage device for our Veeam backups. All the servers that you see here are running on a Windows Hyper-V host. Now, it doesn't matter if you're using VMware or Hyper-V or physical servers, whatever it is, to run the Veeam backup and replication program. As long as it's using a supported Veeam operating system, which we are here using Windows Server 2022 Standard, then you can back up any physical or virtual machine from that location. As far as the Veeam application version, I'll be using version 12 of backup and replication running on my Veeam server. If you're following along with your own server environment, you don't have to have a fancy configuration like I have here. You can just use a standard virtual machine running on a client operating system, say using Hyper-V or using VirtualBox, VMware Player Workstation, whatever type of virtualization that you would like. And then you can install a Windows server onto that virtualization software and then run installation of Veeam after that. The lab is set up and ready for demonstration. Please take some time to set up your lab if you're following along.